ମୁଁ ଆଦିବାସୀ ଝିଅ ଭାବରେ ପିଲାବେଳୁ ଆଦିବାସୀ ଜୀବନଯାତ୍ରା को देखी आसुछि। ମୁଁ ଉପଲବ୍ଧି କରିଛି ଯେ ପ୍ରକୃତି ସହିତ ମିଳିମିଶି ଚଳିବା ଆଦିବାସୀ ଜୀବନଶୈଳୀର ନିରନ୍ତର ଜୀବନ ଯାପନର ଏକ ମାଧ୍ୟମ। ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥାପିକା ଓ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟପାଳିକା ସହିତ ନ୍ୟାୟପାଳିକା ମଧ୍ୟ ପରିବେଶ ତଥା ବନ୍ୟଜୀବ ସଂରକ୍ଷଣକୁ ସର୍ବୋଚ୍ଚ ପ୍ରାଥମିକତା ଦେବା ଉଚିତ। ଆମେ ଆମର ଉତ୍ତର ପିଢ଼ିକୁ ଏକ ସୁରକ୍ଷିତ ଭବିଷ୍ୟତ ଦେବାକୁ ହେଲେ ପରିବେଶ ସୁରକ୍ଷା ପ୍ରତି ନିରନ୍ତର ଧ୍ୟାନ ଦେବା ଆବଶ୍ୟକ ରହିଛି। ସାମାଜିକ ଓ ଆର୍ଥିକ ଦୃଷ୍ଟିରୁ ଅନଗ୍ରସର ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ନ୍ୟାୟ ପ୍ରଦାନ କରିବା ଉପରେ ଆମ ସମ୍ବିଧାନ ନିର୍ମାତାମାନେ ପ୍ରାଥମିକତା ଦେଇ ଆସିଛନ୍ତି। ସମାଜରେ ବଞ୍ଚିତ ବର୍ଗର ଲୋକମାନେ କୋର୍ଟ କଚେରୀ ଓ ଆଇନ କାନୁନ ବିଷୟରେ ବିଶେଷ ସଚେତନ ନୁହନ୍ତି। ନିଜ ଅଧିକାର ପାଇଁ ନ୍ୟାୟାଳୟ ପାଖରେ ପହଞ୍ଚିବା ନିମନ୍ତେ ଅନେକଙ୍କର ସାମର୍ଥ୍ୟ ବି ନଥାଏ। ବଞ୍ଚିତ ବର୍ଗକୁ କିପରି ସୁବିଧାରେ ନ୍ୟାୟ ପ୍ରଦାନ କରାଯାଇପାରେ ଏକଥା ଆମ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ ହେବା ଉଚିତ। ଏ ବିଷୟରେ ମାନସ ମନ୍ଥନ କରାଯିବା ଉଚିତ। ବିଭିନ୍ନ କର୍ତ୍ତୃପକ୍ଷଙ୍କ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଏହି ବର୍ଗକୁ ଫ୍ରି ଲିଗାଲ ଏଡ୍ ଯୋଗାଇ ଦେବା ନିମନ୍ତେ ପଦକ୍ଷେପ ନିଆଯାଉଥିବା ଜାଣି ମୁଁ ଖୁସି ହେଲି। ଅନେକ ଆଇନଜୀବୀ ମଧ୍ୟ ବିନା ମୂଲ୍ୟରେ ଆଇନ ପରାମର୍ଶ ଦେବା ପାଇଁ ଆଗଭର ହେଉଛନ୍ତି। ଏହାଦ୍ୱାରା ସାଧାରଣ ଲୋକ ସହଜରେ ନ୍ୟାୟ ପାଇବେ ବୋଲି ମୁଁ ଆଶା ପୋଷଣ କରୁଛି। ସଜ୍ଜନ ମଣ୍ଡଳୀ, ଜାତିର ଜନକ ମହାତ୍ମା ଗାନ୍ଧୀ ଆମମାନଙ୍କୁ ଗୋଟିଏ କବଚ ଦେଇଥିଲେ। ସେ କଥା ଆମେମାନେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଜାଣେ। ତାକୁ ଗାନ୍ଧୀସ୍ ଟେଲିସ୍ମେନ୍ ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଏ। ସେ ବିଷୟରେ ମୁଁ ଆପଣମାନେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଜାଣନ୍ତି, ମୁଁ କେବଳ ମନେ ପକାଇ ଦେଉଛି। And I quote, "Recall the face of the poorest and the weakest men whom you may have seen and ask yourself if the step you contemplate is going to be of any use of him. Will he gain anything by it? Will it restore him to a control over his own life and destiny?" Unquote. ମୁଁ ଆଶା କରୁଛି ଆପଣମାନେ ନ୍ୟାୟ ପ୍ରଦାନ କଲାବେଳେ ନ୍ୟାୟର ଆଧାର ନିରପେକ୍ଷତାକୁ ଅକ୍ଷୁଣ୍ଣ ରଖିବା ସଙ୍ଗେ ସଙ୍ଗେ ମହାତ୍ମା ଗାନ୍ଧୀଙ୍କ ପ୍ରଦତ୍ତ କବଚ କଥା ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଭାବରେ ମନେ ପକାଇବେ। ମୁଁ ଆଶା ପୋଷଣ କରୁଛି ଏବଂ ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କୁ ପୁନର୍ବାର ଶୁଭେଚ୍ଛା ଜଣାଇ ମୁଁ ମୋର ବକ୍ତବ୍ୟ ସାଙ୍ଗ କରୁଛି। ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ। ଜୟ ହିନ୍ଦ, ଜୟ ଭାରତ, ବନ୍ଦେ ଉତ୍କଳ ଜନନୀ।
कोटिश धन्यवाद माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदय आपके प्रेरणादायी शब्दों और आशीर्वाद के लिए। नाउ वी प्रोसीड टू द एंड ऑफ द प्रोग्राम। मे नाउ रिक्वेस्ट माय लॉर्ड ऑनरेबल मिस्टर जस्टिस सुभाषिष ताड़पत्र, जज हाई कोर्ट ऑफ ओडिशा एंड चेयरमैन IT and AI कमिटी टू काइंडली प्रेजेंट द वोट ऑफ थैंक्स।
I know the entire stadium is electrified hearing the Honorable the President of India, and I stand up just to salute her for such a wonderful, brilliant and thought-provoking speech. Honorable President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, Honorable Governor of Odisha, Professor Ganeshi Lal, our dear Chief Justice, Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Honorable Member of Law, Mr. Saraka, Honorable Advocate General, Mr. Ashok Parija, and the Captain of the Bar, Mr. Dharanidhar Naik, the President of the High Court Bar Association, my esteemed colleagues, my brothers and sisters, respected former judges of this High Court, the senior advocates, and heart of the Odisha High Court, the young lawyers, those who will construct the futures of this High Court. Central Postmaster General Orissa Circle, Sri Shubhendu Swain, the learned law officers and members of the High Court Bar Association in particular, government official, and the officials of the Postal Department, Registrar General, registrars, and my dear employees of the Orissa High Court, ladies and gentlemen, as our Chief Justice mentioned, it's a finale. It's a finale of celebration. As we cross the 75 years, it's a milestone, and it's also a beginning of the further journey to the future. High Court requires nourishment from all 8 stakeholders. High Court is not the High Court of the judges. High Court not alone the High Court of the lawyers. High Court not alone the High Court of its officers and employees. High Court is for the people of Orissa. That should be ingrained in our memory, and when we look at the future, Honorable President was just reminding us our fundamental duties and very mildly reminding us where we are failing. I remember her speech in the Constitutional Day she delivered in Delhi regarding these under trial prisoners languishing in jail. It's a huge challenge for the judiciary. But respected member, we can assure you, in Orissa, through the legal aid system, we are now maintaining jail clinics in every jail of the Orissa. And through the legal aid lawyers, these persons who are not getting bail, we are taking special care of them so that they can get the bail. And you have mentioned, I'm grateful for that people who doesn't know their right, it is our collective duty. It is not only the duty of the judiciary. Since we live in a democracy, we must learn to live with the citizen, fellow citizen, who doesn't have the minimum knowledge of their right. It is our duty as a collective to impart them the knowledge of that right, and whenever their right is pervaded or invaded, to stand up just their side. I am grateful to the Honorable Governor, Mr. Ganeshilal. It was always a pleasure to hear him. He has the multifaceted genius, philosophy, politics, even to the extent of the law. We also sometimes hear a rancor in his voice. But sir, I can assure you this rancor energizes us to do much better performance. I come from small northeastern states. I lived from my childhood with my tribal brethren. I know the disadvantage, but I see the new aspiration has been generated when Madam Draupadi Murmu acquired the highest office of this country. That we can also achieve. This is a dream spread over the country. I was a judge in Arunachal Pradesh. Professor Ganeshilal has talked about the rule of law. That is the bedrock of the democracy. I talk about the rule of law is not to be guarded. Rule of law that should be nurtured by the democracy, nurtured by its citizenry. I give you one simple example. I was holding a meeting of the Commissioner of Itanagar. He was telling me one experience because he was from outside. That, sir, I was taken aback noticing one certain thing. Against a person belonging to a small tribal group called Adi in Arunachal Pradesh, police registered a case. Entire community, believe me, he was telling me, came with that person to the police station so that he surrendered to the police. That is the responsibility of the rule of law. Perhaps more advanced societies are failing in this responsibility. That is why sometimes We do not fight. The justice is done in time. Our president has stated very categorically, the judiciary must listen the small voices of the margin. Judiciary shoulders are not that strong, but believe us, through the public interest litigation, we are taking a huge stride to register their voices so that their voices is heard by the administration, heard by the judiciary, heard by all the persons who have a stake in the democracy. And the number of public interest litigation have been taken by the Odisha High Court, and we are just following those public interest litigation. Madam, we are really delighted, and with this delight I will just urge all the young lawyers, because they are the future judges, they are the future judicial officers, they are the future senior advocates who will guide the High Court. Come forward with a sense of the service to the community. If you excel in your profession, you must understand this is a service in the community, because we talk about the quality service through this institution. As a judge, we are always humbled by your erudition when you just display about any law, interpret a law. So far, I tell you, the history of judiciary was in a small paragraph in the history books of the country. But with the change of time, with our tryst with the Constitution, we have taken a major part of this history. And that is why when we are holding the National Conference on the Judicial History, there is so much of interest from the historians. What is happening with the judiciary? What is there in the judicial record? Earlier that was not there. That was our history has been reviewed, relooked into through the judicial records. Lot of unknown histories. The histories of the freedom fighter in the state of Orissa are coming up through the judicial archive and our the Museum of Justice. You will see how this entire Orissa has contributed to the freedom movement of this country. And I must also remember the people like Madhusudan Das, who was in the forefront of the social reformist movement for advancement and development of the Oriya nationalism. I pay my deep regard in this occasion. They are the torch bearers of the movement of the High Court. I am not in the part of the state, but during a small years I share every emotion of this state because I feel I am part of this community. So this is an occasion I have perhaps unnecessarily consuming time. I have been given the duty of giving the vote of thanks. And I stand here for the entire High Court, which is comprised of the judges, lawyers, and our officers and the staff. Honorable President, we have no words. The way you have found out time for this High Court to be present in this occasion, no words is sufficient to express our gratitude. Mahamahi Rashtrapati Srimati Draupadi Murmu, Akina Adigono Mano, Kami Harabagi Kate, Tehen Ale Ten, Oktakin M. Aka, Oneto Ali Hai, High Court Pahata, Kon Adi, Ayama Sarhole Chal Akin Kana. It's a deep regards to the Honorable the President, and I share everybody's the warm reception for her. I hope the Odisha High Court will continue to get her support in the various projects, and whenever we'll seek her blessings that will be bestowed upon us. Then our very dear is a man of knowledge, Honorable Governor, Professor Ganeshi Lal. Sir, we bow down that you have also made this occasion for us, and your presence always electrify us with various new thoughts. Today also you have spread the new seeds of thoughts to us. We think it will be grow up in our exercises. Now, Sri Jagannath Sarkar, Honorable Minister, Law, Scheduled Tribe and Scheduled Caste Development and Minorities, Backward Class Welfare, Government of Orissa. I was really touched by his simple words and his aspiration from the judiciary and the praises he made for the Orissa High Court. I deeply oblige, sir, for your such good words of knowledge. Then I must thank Sri Ashok Kumar Parija, Advocate General. I must say the dynamic Advocate General, who is showing the light to the young lawyers. We are grateful to you, sir, for being present here. And our own captain, I told her captain, because I am from the bar, Sri Dharanidhar Naik, is a part of this celebration. Notwithstanding them, sir, we are grateful for your presence and made it the occasion very successful. And I also place my heartfelt thanks to my brother and sister judges of this High Court who had taken so much of initiatives to make this program to this level. Our former respective judges who are sitting in this part, I place my deepest regards because they lift the foundations of this High Court and every day it is advancing. Senior advocates, those are the leading light of our profession, of our institution. I pay my deepest respect for them, and I also urge them to come forward in future to make this High Court as an institution of national importance so that entire nation look at the Orissa High Court. You can do this. My young lawyers, brothers and sisters, your presence, your company, your celebration, we are all part of that. Thank you all. And a special thank from this High Court to the Central Postmaster General Orissa Circle, Sri Shubhendu Saidi, who has taken a special initiative to publish this commemorative stamp on the celebration of the establishment of 75th years of the Orissa High Court. The learned office bearers and members of the High Court Bar Association, in particular, I thank you all for your active participation in celebration of this occasion. And my dear, the Registrar General, registrars, and all the employees, I look them, they are sitting there. They are the backbone of any program of the High Court. I place my deep regard for them. I hope they will continue to do the good work in future also. Ladies and gentlemen, the invitees, we are all grateful to you for giving this celebration a different meaning by your presence. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, my lord. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem. Thank you. Honorable President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu ji is now leaving the indoor stadium. I would now request everyone to kindly remain at their place till she leaves.